Hello and welcome to Oh the Horror. I'm Fedora. And this is it. This is the one. This is the insult. This is the kick in the nuts to one of the greatest icons of horror of all time, Freddy Krueger. This is the punch in the face to every horror movie fan out there. This is Freddy's Dead, the final nightmare. Now, I have not been looking forward to reviewing this movie. Everyone knows that. But I consider myself professional enough just to stick through it, so here we go. This is Fred... Hey guys, I wasn't skipping out on the review. Oh! No! Freddy's Dead, the final nightmare.
We've been up on some kind of military graph of Springwood, explaining in 10 years, or after 10 years, or something, that every single teenager and child in Springwood is dead, and...
Incredible! We're not even 1 minute in, and already I want to strangle this movie!
Freddy originally came back to get revenge for his own murder by killing the kids of Elm Street. That was fine. The fourth movie introduced the fact that he can get into different kids' dreams by using the powers of Kristen and Alice. That was a stretch, but I could accept it. And now, off-screen, we're supposed to believe that somehow he systematically murdered every teenager and child in Springwood. And what's funnier, only now, after 5 movies, are the parents actually noticing.
You know, honey, there have been 50-odd deaths in this town since the death of that Freddy Krueger fella. Oh, you're right. Do you think there might be something to that? You think?
The movie actually begins in the dream of Springwood's last surviving teenager. This 30-plus-year-old guy, who's having a nightmare involving an airplane having a few technical problems. Nobody else on the plane seems to mind, though.
Fred Heights. Don't be a pussy.
Don't fuck with Grandma.
Qantas! We're getting better, I swear! The unnamed teen wakes up just in time to figure out that he's fallen for the oldest trick in the book. Thinking you've woken up.
I'll get you, my Freddie, and your little soul too.
I wish someone would drop a house on you.
Shameless copyright infringement over, he catches a sight of Freddy's house and legs it. Only to spend the next half an hour rolling down a hill, seriously, this takes bloody ages, before catching a bus. And I mean literally catching it.
Okay everybody, now we're going to play a fun new game. This is called Looney Tunes My Horror Movie. For every ridiculously cartoon moment that appears in this movie, I'm going to add 1 carrot. Comically splattered across the front of a bus while still hanging on for dear life? That's a carrot.
Smashing a stupid cartoon hole in the wall the same shape as you, including things like hair? That's a carrot.
And so the idiot is tossed out of Springwood. And then we got a shot of what Freddy truly looks like in this film. And if you thought the makeup in number 5 was bad, just wait till you see this.
Holy shit! Were they even fucking trying? Right, now that we're through the opening credits, we're seen leaving Springwood and enter a new town, where we're introduced to the movie's real main character, Dr. Maggie, a psychiatrist who's trying to help these kids with issues.
The kids in question this time around, I'm just going to label Daddy Issues, Don't Touch Me, and the Deaf Boy. Next.
We're also introduced to the dream psychiatrist simply known as Doc,
1.21 gigawatts!
who's kind enough to provide us with this little exposition.
Supposedly they roam the dreams of the living till they find the most evil, twisted human imaginable. Then they give them the power to cross the line and turn our nightmares into reality.
Oh, I'm sure this'll have nothing to do with the plot.
The unnamed teen is picked up by the cops and dumped on Dr. Maggie's hands, where it's determined that he has amnesia and can't remember who he is or where he's from. So, that night, Dr. Maggie has a dream. Sparkly dream sound effects, for God's sake. But she's not the only one, as unnamed teen has a dream of his own, which causes him to sleepwalk and sleep fly. Anyway, the next morning, Maggie talks to him about it, and discovers that his dreams and hers seem to have some kind of link. So on Doc's recommendation, the two of them decide to go back to Springwood. So, on the way, and after Maggie and nameless teen discover they got some stowaways, namely Daddy Issues, Don't Touch Me, and the Deaf Boy, they all pull into Springwood and begin looking around.
Not burn too bad. Just cut it right in the middle there.
Hang on.
Oh, what beautiful, adorable children! Would you like to come and live with us?
Hold it.
I want my children back! You know they bring him!
Wait a second! Stop. Alright. Let's talk about what's wrong with this, shall we? First of all, Roseanne? Tom Arnold? Seriously? Second of all, we're led to believe that in the beginning of the film, 10 years has passed since the last movie. 10 years since everyone in Springwood has lost their minds. And nobody has noticed? You're telling me this town of crazy people has just lived for 10 years completely undetected?
Look at this! Nobody? In 10 years? Maggie tries to send the three stooges back to the runaway's house. Unfortunately, every time they try to leave, they just wind up back where they started. Meanwhile, her and unnamed teen hit the school, where they find out, thanks to the nutty professor here, that Freddie actually had a kid. So the two of them head to the orphanage to try and find out more. Anyway, after hours of driving around, Daddy Issues, Don't Touch Me, and the Deaf Boy just give up trying to leave and decide to live in the town full of crazy people. They pick a house at random to live in, and two guesses which one. So that night, after Deaf Boy falls asleep, Freddie gives him a free ear examination before chucking him into the boiler room.
You remember when Freddie was scary? When he used to stalk his victims? This is what we get now.
After a few more minutes of complete idiocy, Freddie replaces Deaf Boy's hearing aid with a super-powered one, and then proceeds to use the old nails on a chalkboard trick, which results in the obvious.
Nice hearing from you!
At the orphanage, Maggie and unnamed teen meet another crazy person, and unnamed teen comes to the realization that the only reason that he's still alive is that he must be Freddy Krueger's son. So after leaving, they bump into Don't Touch Me, who kindly takes them back to the Krueger house. But they're too late, as Daddy Issues is already asleep and dreaming.
Where am I?
Jump, boy!
Whoa!
Jump!
Dad?
Be like me. Be like me. Be like me.
Father knows best.
They've just given up? They've just completely given up. They know they can't be scary. They know they can't be funny. So what are they? They're just going to go for stupid.
If by some miracle you're still watching this, nameless teen tells Don't Touch Me to knock him out so he can go into the dream world to rescue Daddy Issues.
If only he was the writer.
He arrives in the dream world, followed quickly by Don't Touch Me. Because everyone apparently now has the ability to link dreams, like Kristen and Alice, and they try to save Daddy Issues from Freddy. But, thanks to the power glove, he makes him fall to his death. Kudos, Nintendo.
What do you know? I beat my high score.
Maggie wakes Don't Touch Me up, and they wisely decide to vacate the house. Meanwhile, in Freddie Jr.'s dreams...
You know why you let me go.
Oh, do you think I'm your daddy? Wrong!
That's right. It turns out Freddy's child isn't this doofus, it's actually Maggie. So, Freddy cuts his parachute straps and lets him fall to the earth. But not before pushing a spike block under him like he's fucking Wile E. Coyote.
No, we're not doing that anymore.
Fatality.
So, Freddy jumps inside Maggie's mind and hitches a ride outside of Springwood. They make it back to the Runaway's house, but the strange thing is, whoever they talk to has absolutely no memory of unnamed teen or any of the others that died in Springwood. Apparently, when Freddy killed them, he erased them from history.
Since when was he able to do that? And if he could do that, why did the parents of Springwood still remember their kids?
That night, Maggie has a dream that reveals a memory she's apparently been repressing. When she was a little girl, she discovered that her father was the Springwood Slasher. After Freddy launches an attack on Don't Touch Me, and then one on Doc, Maggie decides that she has to go into the dream world and pull Freddy out.
Oh jeez, if only they'd tried that before. Oh wait, they did! In the first movie!
In the dream world, she enters Freddy's mind, and we finally get to see how Freddy got his powers in the first place.
Oh boy, the origins of Freddy's powers? Oh, what's it gonna be? Like some kind of black magic? Or maybe the devil?
We know what you want.
I want it all!
Of course you do.
Then open up.
And you shall be...
Forever!
He got his powers from badly animated fish sperm. Well, of course!
She also sees the rest of that memory when she was a kid, which ends with Freddy murdering her mother. So she grabs hold of him and pulls him into the real world.
Come on, you can't even pull off a stretchy arm shot. I mean, the first movie could do it and their budget was like a third of the size of yours.
Back in the awake world, and with Freddy nowhere to be seen, Maggie, Doc, and Don't Touch Me assume he must be hiding in the basement, based on nothing at all, and decide to go down there to look for him. Freddy manages to separate Maggie from the others, and tries to win her over with the whole "they made me this way" act. And when she doesn't fall for it, the two sort of just roll around on the floor for a while.
Hold on a second, since when did the childcare worker become Schwarzenegger's commando?
After that idiocy, she shoves a pipe bomb in his chest, he blows up, the fish sperm escape, and we're ended with this.
Freddy's dead.
Oh, Freddy's dead. You know what, after watching this crap, a piece of my soul is dead. But it's alright, because this shit is finally over.
Story-wise, it's stupid. Character-wise, it's stale. Visually, it's absolutely horrendous. And apart from a cameo by Johnny Depp and then another one by Alice Cooper, there is absolutely nothing salvageable about this hideous pile of crap.
But you know what? All is well. And I'm serious. Because contrary to what the title might want you to think, this wasn't the final Nightmare on Elm Street movie.
No, the final nightmare came 3 years later in 1994 with Wes Craven's New Nightmare. Wes Craven's New Nightmare. That's right, the creator of Freddy had to come back to make sure the series didn't go out sucking.
And what do you know? It was good. And then in 2003, of course, we had Freddy vs. Jason, which was awesome. And then in 2011, we had the remake, which wasn't great, we all know that, but contrary to a lot of people are saying, it was halfway decent. And a hell of a lot better than this piece of garbage. Anyway, so that's all we have time for tonight. So, I'm Fedora. This is Oh the Horror. Save a screen for me. We'll see you next time when we're celebrating Friday.